All right, boys and girls, I looked up because I remembered there were hundreds or maybe thousands of types of tomatoes in the world, but can you believe there's more than 10,000 types of tomatoes all around the world? That's crazy. So tomatoes can crossbreed with other tomatoes. So if you have one that's big and green with stripes and one that's a little red cherry tomato like this one, they can cross-pollinate and make a new kind of tomato plant. And that's why there's so many types. And that's why if you have a tomato you really like, what farmers will do and gardeners is they'll put a little net bag around the flower once it's pollinated so they can make sure that it's the right kind when it grows next year. Interesting. Now, the pictures here show some of the different kinds of tomatoes there are around the world. The ones we're growing look like this and like this, where they're on a cluster vine with a whole bunch of them. I also like growing these yellow ones. They taste delicious, and I've had these longer ones from H-E-B before. This one I want to grow next year. I have some seeds for it. It's green with stripes. It's like dark and light green stripes, and it never turns red. It always looks like that, even when it's time to eat. There's so many different varieties. There's even some that look purple over here. Now, the one that's growing in our garden the most is called a husky cherry red tomato, and they do look like this. I usually pick them before they get quite this red because I want to beat the squirrels and the birds from eating them. And then I brought them home, and I'm having some with my lunch. And I wanted to show you how pretty it is. And when you cut it in half, you can see the seed chamber inside, and it's inside all of this goo. And what happens is if you don't pick the tomato, then after a while it dries up and falls to the ground. And then the goo around the seeds not only protect them, but also serve as food for the new plant. And so then the tomatoes, once they reach the dirt, they might hibernate all winter, but in the spring, when it gets warm again, they turn into a plant and they develop little roots and stems. And that's why we have that one I said was a volunteer left over from last year. One of our tomatoes that a bird picked fell down in the ground. It got watered and the plant grew again from seed on its own. How cool is that?